Good morning, everyone. Buenos días a todos. Regresamos a nuestro tercer episodio porque la gente lo pidió. Together somos más. Antes de que empiece la carne asada, let me introduce my best friends and co-hosts. We'll go one by one. Kyle.
How we doing?
Good. How was your week?
Con mi cafecito. I'm doing good.
Yeah,
Better with each sip, it gets a little bit better.
that's good. Marifer, how are you?
Yo bien, aunque no me han dado mi café tampoco. Bueno, no me lo he preparado, pero...
Tenemos
necesito café para tomar mi café, para preparar mi café.
El pre-café. Bueno, empezamos. Hoy es martes, un día emocionante. Lo que va a pasar en la tarde, viene el debate entre Harris y Trump. Entonces, para empezar nosotros aquí, estar en ese movimiento, vamos a empezar un pequeño juego de debate. Y Kyle te va a tocar decidir que es mejor levantarse temprano y Marifer va a decir que es mejor levantarse tarde. Empecemos.
Sin duda, lo mejor que puede hacer uno es levantarse tarde. La sociedad es la que está equivocada. Deberíamos abrir todas las tiendas, los negocios, etcétera, a las 12 de la tarde y cerrar a las 9. Entonces, tenemos amplio tiempo para, disfrutar la mañana y dormirnos tarde. Pero eso soy yo.
Kyle, ¿tu respuesta?
Pues ya ganaste, Marifer. Estoy de acuerdo con ti.
Okay.
Para vivir en las mañanas necesito mi café, pero sin café, como te dije antes, sin cafecito no hay trabajito.
Estaba lista para pelear, pero bueno.
Esta y más acción van a ser los debates en la tarde. Entonces, emocionados, le invitamos a toda la gente que se conecte con nosotros a través de nuestra página de Facebook, Impact Fund, Galeo Impact Fund, para tener todos los detalles, para tener todos los anuncios que van a pasar aquí. Y tenemos un poco más de tiempo, algo que les gustaría anunciar.
Yeah.
Marifer, Kyle.
Marifer.
¿De hoy?
Sí.
Bueno, yo voy a un debate party, un watch party. No sé si ustedes van a ir o...
Se perdió la invitación porque a mí no me llegó nada. Kyle, ¿qué tienes en la tarde?
Bueno, yo voy a ver el debate con Paquita, mi perrito.
Okay. Muy emocionado. Bueno, regresamos después de estos cortes para más información y la sección Lo que nos importa.
Our roots stretch across continents. Our hearts beat in rhythm with the land. We are the stewards of this earth. All of us feel the weight of environmental issues. Pollution, global warming, deep in our souls. Georgia, our home, present and future for next generations. It's time to act against climate change. We've seen the storms and felt the heat. Many families have moved in, seeking security. We have the opportunity to change that reality. Vote because our future depends on it, and our choices shape the world.
And we're back. Also, quick mention that we have a great guest, Antonieta. Ella nos va a dar una excelente información. So we're really excited about the interview. But in the meantime, we have our section, Lo que nos importa. I know we all have a topic that has happened last month that we were really just eager to talk about. I know Marifer has one, Kyle has one, I have one. Anybody would like to volunteer first?
Sure.
Go ahead,
I don't know if you guys saw, but the debate was amazing. Sorry, the DNC. You guys are looking at me like,
I was like, what debate? Where?
You kept me invited one.
Marifer comes from the future.
Marifer's a time traveler, everyone. So. We've got all the spoilers today.
Yes.
No, the DNC was amazing. I loved the Georgia delegation's intro.
No one came close. No one came
Absolutely
close.
not. And like
Georgia came on top on that.
absolutely. And who else? The Obamas, AOC, Bernie. I was really motivated by the debate. I enjoyed just listening to everyone, and I felt so much hope. I don't know.
You can feel the energy. You can feel the energy. I was watching some of the highlights.
I was talking to someone earlier. I remember when Biden was first running in 2020, and it was peak pandemic, and so we went to the rally that he had in Atlanta, but everyone was in their cars, and so like honking their horns and everything. And I remember then, thinking, wow, there's a lot of energy. But then, like, you saw the rally that Kamala Harris had not too long ago at the convention center, and it's like they're filling arenas, stadiums. It's like a whole concert. So
yeah, people are excited.
Different energy, completely different momentum.
Kyle, what do you have?
Well, I think let's see what we got going on here. I think one of the news stories that we were talking about earlier today with Eduardo, our producer. One, I want to call back to the stories we talked about in Venezuela with the elections. The candidate who many people believe won the election, he's gone to Spain. He's living in Spain. We've seen a lot of targeting of the opposition in Venezuela, who many people, as I said, believe won the last election. So we're continuing to monitor that. We're still thinking of our Venezuelan brothers and sisters. And there's some interesting news coming out of Mexico. There was some judicial reforms that is being pushed by the current president. Something that's really interesting that doesn't happen in other parts of the world, because like when we hold our elections, the new Congress and the new administration, they come in together. But in Mexico,
right.
The new Congress comes in about a month before the new president. So Claudia Sheinbaum isn't going to take office until October, but the new Congress has taken power in Mexico. And so AMLO, the current president, has been pushing some judicial reforms that would basically completely change the makeup of the court so that for example, judges are elected and run for office rather than nominated and appointed. And so a lot of people who are in support of democracy are concerned about the impacts that'll have on democracy in Mexico. So we'll continue to watch the impacts of that. Alberto, go ahead.
Yes, yeah, no, I saw the change in voice as soon as you start talking about politics. So Marifer and I found your coffee, política en la mañana y un pan. What a better combo. For me, I'm really excited about Hispanic Heritage Month. It's about to kick in about a few days. We have our luncheon in October 11. For our listeners, it's going to be in the Crown Plaza in Norcross. It'll be Friday, October 11 at 11 a.m. So you can always find more information on our pages, Galeo and Galeo Impact Fund. So we'll be there. Actually, Marifer, Cal, and I will be also hosting that luncheon. So if you want to hear more of our voices, show up. We'll be there.
And see our beautiful faces.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can't escape us.
And don't forget, we're gonna have an incredible speaker too.
Okay.
Vanessa Cardenas. With America's Voice. So,
really excited. Yeah, I remember. So yeah, if you want to
hear, we're not enough. As if we weren't enough.
Yeah. People are asking more. People keep telling me that once a month is not enough. They want to have daily, and I told them I don't know about that, but we're really excited about that. And then we're really coming up. We have the interview with Antonieta. And really excited. She's going to talk about the organization is doing, all the benefits for the community. So stick around. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Jerry Gonzalez, CEO of Galeo and Galeo Impact Fund. I want to personally invite you to the upcoming Hispanic Heritage Month luncheon, which will be held at the Crown Plaza in Norcross on Friday, October 11th. This year, we are excited to invite Vanessa Cardenas, Executive Director of America's Voice, to serve as our keynote speaker. I've heard Vanessa at a conference, and she is an amazing advocate for our community and is very inspiring. You don't want to miss her. Join me and all of the Galeo familia on October 11th at Galeo's Hispanic Heritage Month Luncheon. See you there.
Hola, Antonieta.
Hola, ¿cómo están?
Bien, bien. Con esa emoción vamos desde ahorita hasta Luncheon. Vamos a ir.
Oye, estaba mirando esta foto que tiene en la entrada y Kyle se ve completamente diferente a cómo se ve ahora, porque sale con el pelo así súper cortito.
Pues porque hoy me bañé.
Te bañaste en la foto, dices tú.
Bueno, todos los días, a veces. Normalmente. A veces en el mar, a veces en el lago.
Mientras haya agua.
Y qué bueno que van a tener a Vanessa en su luncheon. Vanessa es una mujer excepcional. Yo la considero una gran amiga y aparte es una líder latina, pero excepcional. Ha trabajado por décadas por los derechos de nuestra comunidad, de los inmigrantes. Así que qué bueno que la van a tener en Georgia.
Sí, muy emocionados. E igual, Antonieta, cordialmente invitadas. Sabemos que estás en Texas, pero si te quieres dar un viaje a Georgia, aquí te esperamos. Y con eso vamos a empezar la entrevista. Un poco, la primera pregunta es, dinos un poco sobre ti, cómo empezaste, cuál es tu involvement con Climate Power en Acción.
Bueno, mi nombre es Antonieta, por supuesto lo tienen ahí en pantalla, pero me pueden llamar Anto, todo el mundo me llama Anto, mi familia, mis amigos, etc. Soy Anto Cadiz, yo estoy acá en Katy, Texas, como lo sienten en mi acento, soy de origen chileno, vivo acá en Estados Unidos hace más de 20 años y dirijo un proyecto en Climate Power que se llama Climate Power en Acción. Básicamente nuestro proyecto es un proyecto hecho por latinos y para latinos. Y nosotros lo que queremos hacer es primero conectar a nuestra comunidad con el impacto del cambio climático. Es decir, que nuestra comunidad vea que cuando hay eventos de clima extremo como inundaciones, calor extremo, etcétera, eso no es solo clima. Eso es básicamente clima extremo que se genera por el calentamiento global, por el cambio climático y que tiene un impacto directo en su vida, tiene un impacto en sus gastos, tiene un impacto en su salud, tiene un impacto en su familia. Entonces, básicamente eso es la primera parte del trabajo. Y la segunda, por supuesto, es colaborar con organizaciones locales, como por ejemplo Galeo, y elevar las voces comunitarias para hablar sobre temas de cambio climático. Entonces, por ejemplo, Galeo es una organización que ha hecho un muy buen trabajo a nivel local. Ustedes lanzaron una encuesta sobre las prioridades para la comunidad latina en el estado de Georgia. Sí. Y uno de los aspectos de esa encuesta, por ejemplo, fue el cambio climático. Entonces, colaborar con organizaciones como Galeo es muy, muy importante para nosotros. Y a través de este trabajo, crear la voluntad política necesaria para empujar los cambios, porque al final del día las personas que nos representan en el Congreso, en la Casa Blanca, responden a nosotros. Nosotros los elegimos. Y los elegimos para que ellos tomen las decisiones correctas por nosotros, para nosotros. Entonces, un poquito de ese accountability para que estas personas tomen las decisiones adecuadas cuando se trata de cambio climático y el impacto que tiene en nuestra comunidad. Eso es como un resumen más o menos de lo que hacemos en Climate Power en Acción. Es un proyecto de comunicaciones. Nosotros trabajamos en comunicaciones. Yo tengo una carrera en periodismo de más de 15 años, así que las comunicaciones son respiro, sueño, hablo. Comunicaciones es mucho de lo que hacemos.
Sí, no, muy bien, un grande trabajo, Anto, y como dices, hay que hacer ese comunicado a la comunidad, ¿verdad? Porque es al final de cuentas los que nos afectan a nosotros personalmente.
Y hablando de afectar personalmente, creo que muchas veces, y lo mencionó, algunas cosas que nos afectan en general, pero ¿por qué ¿debería la comunidad latina preocuparse un poco más por el cambio climático y hacer and be a little more active in wanting change?
A ver, Marifer, Alberto y Kyle, en el caso de ustedes, ¿cómo han experimentado ustedes el cambio climático? Por ejemplo, ¿dónde lo han visto en el estado de Georgia? Porque yo tengo algunas imágenes de cosas que han pasado, y que han afectado a todo nivel, las cosechas en Georgia, la residencia, la comunidad en general. Pero en las cosas que han pasado últimamente en el estado, ¿qué han visto que es cambio climático?
Una que me recuerda a mí fue la onda de calor el verano pasado, que no, después de las 12 de la tarde hasta las 7 de la noche era casi imposible estar afuera, ¿verdad? Entonces tuve que cambiar varios eventos, tuve que estar en comunicación con amigos y familia que trabajaban afuera para saber que estaban bien. Eso es algo que yo sé que el cambio climático fue culpable.
Exactamente, Alberto, esa es una de las cosas que estamos viendo mucho y especialmente en nuestra comunidad nos afecta más. ¿Por qué? Porque la mayoría de los trabajadores que están en el exterior, la mayoría de la gente que por alguna u otra razón tiene que estar afuera, percibe el calor muchísimo más, entonces se pone en riesgo su vida cuando trabajan en el calor y lamentablemente en nuestra comunidad tenemos muchísimos trabajadores que tienen que estar en el exterior, que tienen que estar ya sea cosechando, tienen que estar trabajando en construcción, entonces lo que hemos visto proporcionalmente cada verano las olas de calor se hacen más intensas, más comunes. Y al mismo tiempo, las visitas a la sala de emergencia, producto de estas olas de calor, han ido incrementándose cada vez más. Ese es uno de los efectos del cambio climático que lo estamos sintiendo en casi todo Estados Unidos, especialmente en los estados que están más al oeste o más al sur, pero también en estados como Georgia.
Wow. Y mi papá trabaja construcción y sí le ha tocado llevar a sus trabajadores al hospital o al urgent care o to cool down in the car. But a very quick recap for our English speakers. Why does it matter? Why should the Latino community care about climate change? It's because it affects us, especially in our jobs. And because we are seeing a rise in heat wave or heat stroke related instances in hospitals and urgent cares all across the country. La siguiente pregunta es, ¿cuáles son los mayores impactos negativos del proyecto Plan 2025 en cuanto se trata del clima?
Ya, entonces yo creo que chicos, acá demos un poco de contexto del proyecto 2025, porque ustedes estaban hablando de la convención en un principio, Marifer estaba hablando de la convención demócrata, que la llamó debate, pero era convención demócrata, y lo bueno y lo emocionado, acá le estaba mencionando como la emoción que sentía por la convención, etc. En la convención hubo varias personas, a lot of speakers, que traían como este libro gigante así que pesaba y lo arrastraban, lo tiraban, lo abrían, etc. Y hubo incluso hasta un sketch con el proyecto 2025. ¿Qué es el proyecto 2025? El proyecto 2025 es básicamente un plan que lo diseñó muchas personas que trabajaron para el expresidente Trump. Y que están ligadas a una fundación que se llama el Heritage Foundation, que es una fundación ultraconservadora de Estados Unidos. Y básicamente lo que hicieron, todos se juntaron, así como estamos todos, nosotros cuatro acá se juntaron y dijeron, bueno, ¿cuáles son las principales ideas que queremos implementar si Trump llega a ganar la presidencia? ¿Qué queremos hacer? Entonces, cuando tú abres este famoso libro que está en la convención, te da escalofrío. A mí me da escalofrío ver lo que dice este libro, porque básicamente el proyecto 2025 tiene una serie de propuestas que son súper dañinas para nuestra comunidad. Pero entre ellas, una de las que más susto me da son los 4.000 millones de toneladas de gases de efecto invernadero que la implementación de un plan como este pondría en nuestro medio ambiente. Porque eso implica que esto que estábamos hablando antes, del calor extremo, el cambio climático, va a ser peor peor, peor, cada vez peor. Y for the English speakers, we were talking about, Project 2025 and the impact that we will have. And Kyle, I don't know if you want to talk more in English about it, but I was telling our audience here that it's frightening to even talk about it because it's a summary of ideas of people that former Trump aides and people that work with former President Trump. And basically what they have a lot of ideas to implement in the case President Trump wins. And some of them are really frightening and will impact our air and water. And I was mentioning the 4,000 million tons of greenhouse gas emissions that this proposal will bring to our environment, to our atmosphere in the case it's implemented.
And thank you for talking about that, Anto. It's so important for us to know what our candidates, are talking and proposing and what plans they're proposing. And we've talked a little bit about Project 2025, right? But I wanted to step back first to see, obviously, President Biden ya no es candidato, but we saw a lot of laws pass in the last administration, from the infrastructure bill to the Inflation Reduction Act. And so I have another question, but first I want to ask you really quickly, what do you think, what does your organization feels that has been the impact of the various laws that have been passed in the Biden administration when it comes to climate change?
Thank you for that question, Kyle, because for me, this is personal. When Marifer was talking about the DNC and that night, etc., I stayed late that night. On Monday, I was on the DNC, and it was Biden's night. You remember the first night, Monday? Mm-hmm. And I stayed there, and I remember I arrived late to the arena, and I had to be standing up for about 6 hours in order to listen to Biden. And I did that because I wanted to say thank you. And I started doing the work I do today because I believe a candidate like him could make a difference for all of us. And he did. And sometimes it's rare for a politician because, politicians, they promise things, and we all know that sometimes they don't happen. Mm-hmm. In the case of Biden, in 2020, we saw a president saying, I don't know if you guys remember the orange skies that we were seeing on the West Coast because of the climate fires. And then Biden did a speech when he was a candidate, and he said, the climate crisis is here. It's urgent, it's a problem, and it's going to be a priority for my administration. He did it. He passed the most significant climate legislation we had in decades, it has a bad name. I know it has a bad name. It's the Inflation Reduction Act. Who likes that name? Mm-hmm. But it's a climate legislation. It has very strong components to expand clean energy, for example, which is the necessary transition that we need to decrease the greenhouse emissions. So I really want to say thank you because, I have seen firsthand the effects of climate change. I survived a extreme weather event. And so I know how much it can impact your life. And I don't know, I don't want, other Latino families to keep feeling the impact and having to pay the price for the climate crisis, because we are the ones paying the price. The ones that live in the front lines communities, we are the ones paying the price for the climate crisis. So I think in the last 4 years, we had a lot of progress.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for that, Anto. And so now that we're back to 2024, looking to the next 4 years, what would you like to see from the next administration, whether it's Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? And what do you expect to see from the Republicans and the Democrats? ¿Qué es la diferencia entre los demócratas y los republicanos when it comes to climate change?
Ya, bueno, voy a hablar en español acá porque...
Más emocionado.
Sí, me emociona, tengo que decirlo en español. Yes. Hay una diferencia abismal entre republicanos y demócratas cuando se trata de cambio climático. Y, o sea, si vemos al expresidente Trump, ¿cuál es el mensaje que estamos escuchando? El mensaje que estamos escuchando de él es que el cambio climático no es importante. Él ni siquiera reconoce que existe. Para él es inexistente. ¿Y qué estamos viendo de su parte? Estamos viendo que es una persona que tiene reuniones con donantes que están involucrados con las grandes corporaciones, con las petroleras, con la industria del gas y petróleo. Y básicamente lo que les dijo en una reunión, y fue publicado en el Washington Post, fue: si ustedes me dan $1.000 millones para mi campaña, entonces ustedes pueden hacer lo que quieran con la política medioambiental de este país. Básicamente eso les dijo. ¿Quién dice eso? O sea, yo tengo muchos comentarios respecto a cómo Trump ha dirigido su campaña, desde vender sneakers hasta vender Biblias, hasta todas las aberraciones que hemos visto en esa campaña. Pero ponerle precio a nuestra salud, ponerle precio al medio ambiente que le vamos a dejar, o sea, que estamos experimentando todos y que le vamos a dejar a nuestros hijos, es inaudito. O sea, de verdad que ¿cómo? No me extraña, eso sí, porque recordemos que este fue un presidente que su manera de enfrentar un evento como el huracán María en Puerto Rico en el 2020 fue lanzar toalla nova a la gente, y eso iba a solucionar todos sus problemas, según Trump. Entonces, tenemos por un lado a Trump tirando toalla nova, básicamente, metafóricamente ahora. Y tenemos por otro lado a Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris fue la vicepresidenta de Biden, fue la persona que dio el voto decisivo para aprobar esta ley, para aprobar la ley climática. Sin ella no tendríamos esta legislación. Y aparte de todo eso, en su carrera profesional, ella se ha asegurado, por ejemplo, cuando fue fiscal general de California, se aseguró de que las petroleras pagaran por la contaminación que estaban produciendo, a través de distintos casos que presentó en distintas petroleras que estaban teniendo un impacto en el estado de California. Entonces, sabemos que es una candidata que le importa el cambio climático, que cree en la crisis climática y que está dispuesta a generar el progreso necesario, porque no podemos parar acá. O sea, sabemos que, por ejemplo, en los últimos 4 años hemos logrado más de 300 iniciativas, 300, que nos han ayudado a mejorar nuestro medio ambiente, a mejorar el aire que respiramos, el agua que bebemos, etc. Pero eso tiene que continuar. No podemos parar acá, porque con lo que hemos logrado todavía no alcanzamos las metas necesarias para frenar el calentamiento global. Entonces es importante que este trabajo continúe. Y Kamala Harris es la única candidata que está dispuesta a hacer ese esfuerzo.
Thank you for expressing the distinct difference that there is between the Republican side, Trump side, and the Democrat side. Because on one side, on Trump's side, as you said, you've got a candidate who not only doesn't prioritize the impacts of climate change, but doesn't believe that climate change even exists. He's in the past has called it a hoax, and on top of that, has, through, as we've seen on recordings and video, has committed himself to being in the pockets of special interest groups and big oil. Whereas on the other side, you have someone like Kamala Harris. And as you mentioned, when she was Attorney General, she took on big oil and pushed them to pay for the contamination that they're responsible for in her state of California. And, we hope to see that, from her as president. And so on one side, you have people saying climate change doesn't exist, right? And then on the other side, we have candidates who are actually willing to put forward plans and make progress on combating climate change. And we've talked a little bit about this, but I want to, again, if you can emphasize for our community, for Latinos in Georgia, about what are the impacts of climate change on our community, and just why that's so important, in particular for Latinos in Georgia and the United States.
Latinos in Georgia, please listen to me. Climate change is a huge problem for the state of Georgia and for the whole country. In the case particularly of Georgia, in states like Georgia, you see flooding. For example, these moments of really, really high flooding, when we have these flash flooding moments, That didn't happen before. Why is happening now? Why our houses are flooding right now? It's because of climate change. And the problem is that communities like ours, Black and brown communities, Latino communities, we live in the areas most exposed to climate change. Climate change is also a Latino worker that has to work outside and suffer a heat stroke. That's climate change too, because we didn't experience this amount of heat before. That is our climate changing. So that's climate change too in Georgia. And in particularly in a state like Georgia, you can make the difference in this election. This election is about narrow margins. So like a couple of thousand votes in a state can make the difference between a climate denialism, having Trump in power, and have Kamala Harris in power. Georgia can make the difference for this election, and every vote counts. So I know people, I have family in Georgia, and I talk with my sister and with my mom, with my brother-in-law, with my nieces and nephews and their friends, because everyone needs to participate. People tend to think, oh, it doesn't matter, somebody will vote for me, like somebody votará como yo hubiera votado. Somebody will vote as I would have voted. No. Don't think that. You have a responsibility here. If you want clean water, if you want clean air, if you want more, green spaces, if you want, less climate change, if you want to mitigate the climate crisis, if you want that, please vote.
Tienes mucha razón, Anto, porque Biden ganó el estado de Georgia con 12,000 votos.
Sí.
Y latinos somos casi 5% de la población de los votantes en el estado de Georgia. Tenemos 400,000 votantes latinos en el estado de Georgia. Entonces tenemos mucho poder, solo tenemos que usarlo.
Exactamente. Y cuando usamos ese poder, la gente nos escucha, porque ese es el tema también. O sea, cuando nosotros decimos, ¿cuáles son los temas prioritarios en la agenda latina? Por supuesto que nosotros los latinos estamos preocupados de los costos, estamos preocupados de la inflación, de los trabajos, de la educación, etcétera. Pero ¿cómo podemos poner esos temas en la agenda de las personas que toman las decisiones? Votando. Así podemos poner nuestras prioridades en su agenda. Y en el caso del cambio climático, hay por ejemplo, las facturas de energía. Eso también es cambio climático, lo que la gente está pagando por electricidad en el estado de Georgia. Si usted ha experimentado un alza en su costo de energía durante el verano, durante el invierno, eso también es cambio climático, porque resulta que antes, si teníamos aire acondicionado, no lo teníamos que tener encendido todo el día. Ahora lo tenemos que hacer por el calor extremo. Entonces la cuenta de electricidad, en lugar de costarnos $150, nos cuesta $300 o $400. Ese gasto adicional es cambio climático.
No, y como tú mencionas, Anto, afecta a toda la comunidad. Y nosotros como Galeo o como en ustedes en Climate Power en Acción, pues vemos un mensaje positivo, ¿verdad? En tu opinión, ¿qué te da esperanza con la comunidad latina a través de la nación para seguir adelante, para seguir con la lucha en el cambio climático?
Bueno, miren, varias cosas me dan esperanza. Ustedes me dan esperanza. ¿Por qué? Porque traen una energía positiva y humor a una mañana donde faltan, ¿cuánto? Un poquito menos de 60 días para la elección, una elección tan crucial. Otra cosa que me da esperanza, les voy a contar una anécdota. El otro día fui al colegio de mi hijo y estábamos hablando justamente del cambio climático, estábamos hablando con niños de 9 años, estábamos hablando del cambio climático y lo mucho que nos impacta y de las emisiones de efecto invernadero. Y entonces una niñita levanta la mano y dice, Miss Antonieta, porque me llaman Miss Antonieta, ¿cuándo podemos, a qué edad se puede empezar en el activismo? ¿A qué edad se puede empezar a protestar? Me pregunto. Y yo le dije, Valeria, se puede empezar ahora puedes hacerlo. ¿Por qué? Porque todas nuestras voces cuentan, desde los más chiquititos a las personas mayores. Todas nuestras voces cuentan, porque nuestra comunidad cuenta. Entonces, si queremos hacer escuchar nuestras voces, bueno, hablemos, salgamos, mostremos cuánto nos importa este tema. Así que eso me da muchísima esperanza, porque siento que hay personas involucradas, no importa su edad, no importa de dónde vengan, no importa de qué país vengan, etcétera, que estamos aquí, todos hacemos comunidad en Estados Unidos y estamos aquí porque nos importan nuestras familias, porque nos importa nuestro futuro, y la crisis climática está impactando ese futuro por el que hemos luchado tanto.
Un excelente mensaje. Y sí, es también la que nosotros, hablando de mí, ¿verdad? Yo me imagino que Kyle y Marifer tienen la misma esperanza, la misma visión que tenemos nosotros y seguimos aquí adelante. Antes de terminar la entrevista, últimos mensajes que quisieras decir, Anto, algo que Climate Power en Acción tengan.
A mí me gustaría preguntarles a ustedes qué les da esperanza cuando hablamos de la crisis climática y después de toda esta conversación que hemos tenido, donde hemos visto cómo nos impacta como comunidad y también el progreso que hemos logrado en nuestros 4 años. Cuando piensan en el futuro, ¿qué les da esperanza a ustedes?
A mí 2 cosas. Una, que en nuestras encuestas vemos que es de importancia, que no es algo que se ha olvidado, que no es algo secundario a la economía o a la inflación. Pero también la involucración de los jóvenes. O sea, Greta, no sé pronunciar. Thunberg, gracias. Era muy joven, o sigue siendo joven cuando empezó su activismo. Y creo que las nuevas generaciones están haciendo su parte. Y deberíamos también hacer un poco más para ayudar a todas nuestras generaciones a ser un poco más activos en cuando se trata del cambio climático.
Y a mí bueno, mi abuela es una cientista en Puebla, México, y el estado de Puebla, en México. Y when my dad and mis tíos were kids, my abuelita was talking about like not using plastic and, you know, taking care of the earth and things like that in the 60s and 70s in Mexico, where, you know, you didn't have as big of a climate, you know, movement, you know, throughout the world. And now I see, like, you know, people of my generation, this is what we're talking about. This is what we're thinking about. And it's not just, you know, recycling, but it's also about, because, you know, we can do our best on an individual level, but we need structural, systemic change, right? And now we're seeing our generations push for that. And, you know, from our Puente para la Gente survey, we know that Latinos in Georgia, particularly Latino voters in Georgia, care about climate change. This is what we're thinking about. And so that's what gives me hope.
Yeah, and for me, just carrying on the Puente survey, you can see that people do care about the outdoors, the climate change, because they want to leave a better future for their generations. And I also see in my community that people are reducing their use of plastic by doing their own gardens, you know, having their chickens. That also was a trend. And all that can help in the long term, right? Like little pebbles that we all can see can make the big improvement. But Anto, muchas gracias. Esta entrevista fue genial. ¿Algún otro mensaje?
No, muchísimas gracias a ustedes por el tiempo. Me encantó estar con ustedes. Así que yo creo que tenemos que cerrar. Me tienen que hacer el movimiento de cejas que estaban haciendo antes para despedirnos.
Va a ser nuestra señal de gracias y adiós. Pero Anto, muchas gracias. Y después de este corte, después de este mensaje de cejas, regresamos.
Oh. Muchas gracias.
Another policy priority for us is environmental justice. This one is a bit newer for us, but it's one that we advocated for and we work to include because we know that climate change is happening. We know that it's affecting right now the state of Georgia. That's affecting many Latinos, many people of color, communities of low income are going to be disproportionately affected by this issue, by a changing climate. So we wanted to make sure we included this as a legislative priority so that we can properly do our work in this area that affects so many members of our community, and also as a way to engage them on the issues that matter to them and get them, engaged and motivated to make a change in all the areas that affect our community.
I've been working in the political world for a very long time, and I'm excited that people are lifting up that question of where are we putting our landfills? Where are we putting the factories that pollute, right? And time and time again, those polluting elements, those loud factories, the parts of the community you want to hide, right? You're not going to put them downtown. You're putting them in communities that are the communities with the least political power. A lot of times that's communities that are heavily Latino. Almost all the times it's communities that are more impoverished or less well off. And it's not right. It's a part of we need to have clean air and clean water and be committed to that and be committed to regulating businesses so that they're not polluting our air and water. I mean, there's going to be byproducts of most every industry, but we can do it in smarter, cleaner ways. We know we can. So we have to have people who are standing up and saying, we demand it. It's not just a platitude. It's not just, it would be nice. It's got to happen. And so when we're placing a new landfill or, goodness, one of these incinerators or something, we need to think about the communities that are being impacted. And we need to make up for all the negative impacts for decades and decades that, there are communities where the children have much higher rates of asthma because of the pollution in nearby factories. I mean, we've just got to do better.
And then regarding environmental justice, as far as I can tell, there's no plan B regarding the planet Earth. If something happens to this planet that we're on, we don't have a substitute. Let's ensure that we are taking all precautions and doing everything we can to protect and preserve the environment we live in, right? We all have the right to clean water, clean air, and clean land. We all have a responsibility to do that. And I'm so happy that Latinos, through the Galileo Impact Fund and other organizations, are really taking a leadership role to ensuring that we are preserving and protecting our environment. Because, again, where else are we going to go if something happens to the earth that we live on today?
It's important to note and to realize that the issues of environmental rights and making sure that we protect and ensure that we continue to have, quite frankly, a healthy earth, because there's only one earth and we all live in it. But it's also important that we consider it as environmental justice, because we take a more nuanced views about environmental regulations and environmental protection. We also take into consideration how it impacts both negatively and positively communities that are underrepresented.
And we're back. Thank you again to Antonieta, or Anto, for all the great information, and everyone at Climate Power in Acción. So our section is Latinos en Acción. Hola, Marifer. Welcome again. And then we have great information coming up. Are you ready, Marifer?
I'm ready. Give it to us.
So we have our flyer for our GOTV campaign. That's going to have a QR code coming up in a minute. And that will have all the information that our community needs on where to go to vote, make sure they're registered to vote, make sure the status are correctly there, and then have everything ready that they need to. Then in a minute, they'll come on the screens. And for our for our audio listeners, remember that registration to vote deadline will be October 7th. And it's also that we're encouraging that also everyone does early voting from October 15th to November 1st. And election date is November 5. Our next slides will be para los que nuestro radio escuchas en español. Tenemos que el último día para registrarse es el octubre 7. Tenemos que para votar anticipadamente temprano es del octubre 15 a noviembre 1 y el día de las elecciones es el noviembre 5. Marifer, ya le comentaste a todos, tu familia, amigos, personas que puedan ir a votar estas fechas, ¿verdad?
Ya tú sabes. And my parents our canvassers. My sister's a canvasser, entonces estamos a cualquier persona que vemos en la calle o hasta nuestros conocidos tienen que votar. Los que pueden, que voten.
Yeah, no, we appreciate all the work that canvassers are doing. So if our community see them wearing our Galeo shirt, going door to door, and would like to learn more about it, feel free to ask us questions. We're ready to help. Don't forget also to visit us at galeo.org for more information, and also if you need to register to vote. Otra excelente noticia, Marifer. ¿Estás lista? We're having our Latino Conservation Week starting this Saturday, September 14, at M Park Community Youth Farm in Latonia, Georgia. We're going to have a full day activities. We're going to walk through the community around the trails. We're going to do some trail maintenance. We're going to do explanations of how to start your own garden. We're going to listen from different speakers around the topic. Then we also have on Tuesday, September 17, an event called Vamos Pa Fuera a Caminar. We're going to be in the Arabia Mountain Nature Preserve.
Oh, I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, because you know what? We're going to have cafecito y conchas at the end of the hike. And then we're going to have our last one will be Vamos Pa Fuera Adentro. Our next license will have more information. So, for example, the first one, like I said, it will be this Saturday, 14, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's an RSVP code in the slides right now. But again, you can check out all social media accounts for to register. We like to thank our collaborations, Latinx Hikers and Patagonia, Embark, and the DeKalb County. Then our next slide will be for el que estás emocionado, Marifer. Vamos a hacer un sunset hike. Entonces, no solo vamos a tener conchas ni cafecito, también vamos a tener una ceremonia de cacao. El código QR está en la pantalla para los que quieran registrarse. Y nuestro último evento que va a ser Vamos Pa Fuera Adentro. That is going to be in the Belline at the Patagonia store by Cross Street. It will be from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And that will be more of a networking event of having our conversation with the community that cares for the environment. So Marifer, invite friends, family, anyone that you know that would like to appreciate this activity. We'll have prizes, we'll have music, and we'll have live refreshments.
Okay, important question.
Yes.
Can I bring my dog?
You can bring your dog to the Arabia Mountain. I'm not sure at the Belline inside the store, but we welcome all. It's going to be a family-friendly event, but I believe you can bring your dog, and we'll have to stay at table. He'll get plenty of pets. Okay.
Oh, she's a chihuahua. She's not gonna.
Oh, okay.
She does not want that. Pero está gordita. She needs to walk.
She needs to walk. Okay, yeah. Welcome to do that. And we'll invite the community again. Our information is there on our websites, on our social media. You can reach out for more information, and we hope to see you there. After this quick break, we're coming back with our next section.
Hi everyone, my name is Hector Gutierrez and I'm excited to personally invite you to a truly transformative event, the Leadership Summit, Building Pathways. It's going to be hosted by Galeo in collaboration with Hype at the Georgia Powers headquarters.
This summit is designed to bring together passionate leaders, emerging professionals, and change makers from all walks of life. Whether you're just starting your leadership journey or looking to enhance your skills, this event is for you.
So join us on Saturday, September 28th from 9 to 4 at the prestigious Georgia Power headquarters. This is more than just an event. It's an opportunity to connect, learn, and grow with like-minded individuals who are committed to making a difference.
You'll hear from industry experts, participate in engaging workshops, and gain insights that will empower you to lead with purpose and confidence. Plus, you'll have the chance to network with peers and mentors who share your passion for leadership and community impact.
Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to elevate your leadership skills and expand your network. Register today at the link displayed and secure your spot at the Leadership Summit.
We can't wait to see you there. Let's come together to inspire, lead, and make a lasting impact on our communities.
See you at the Leadership Summit at Georgia Power.
Ya, como dijo el video, el summit ya is coming up. Es hora de que se pongan las pilas and attend our sessions.
I'm ready.
I'm excited. And one thing I really want to highlight, and I cannot emphasize enough, es el cambio que hicimos este año cuando agregamos sesiones en español. Entonces, para darles una idea de lo que tenemos preparado para ustedes, vamos a tener una sesión sobre testamentos, instructivos médicos y temas relacionados a lo que es estate planning. Tenemos cómo navegar el sistema migratorio, saber sus derechos y ver cuáles oportunidades tienen ustedes en términos de inmigración. Tenemos a nuestros invitados de Fact Chequeando, donde vamos a enseñarles cómo detectar la desinformación, misinformation, lies, essentially, en nuestras redes sociales. Y por último, tenemos una sesión relacionada con el mental health, lo que es el cuidado de la mente, especialmente salud mental. Sí, gracias. I was like, what is it? I read your mind. With a lot of very capable facilitators. So we're excited to have you guys there. Y of course, tenemos Kyle is going to be there with our policy track. And we're going to have Hype lead the way with professional development. Kyle, I mean, you have to be there, but
yeah, no, it sounds like it's going to be really exciting and so important for our community. And I'm glad that we're going to have these sessions be in Spanish for our community, so that our community can talk about mental health, which is an important topic for everyone, right? And to also talk about
el 28 de septiembre es un sábado y creo que en 2 semanas. Y por último, también vamos a tener un evento en Columbus el 19 de octubre para que los que estén en Columbus puedan atender. Más información sobre eso lo vamos a subir en nuestras redes sociales. But that is all I have here. Oh, that's our GIL pictures from the canvassing we did this weekend in Gainesville. So I believe we knocked around 228, or is it 228 or 288 doors in Gainesville. We had a lot of conversations motivating our community to vote. Let them know that the last day to register is coming up in October and that early voting is about to start soon as well. And you missed it, Kyle.
I know. And se fueron al Antojito. It's one of the best places in Hall County. So I'm jealous. I'm going to the next one. Let's go to the next one, everyone.
Bueno, los invito al Summit y tenemos también una invitación de nuestro board member y Liz, our director.
Hola a todos, mi nombre es Héctor Gutiérrez y estoy emocionado de invitarlos personalmente a un evento verdaderamente transformador. El Leadership Summit Construyendo Caminos, que está organizado por Galeo en colaboración con Hype en la sede de Georgia Power.
Este summit está diseñado para reunir a líderes apasionados, profesionales y agentes de cambio de todos los ámbitos de la vida. Ya sea que estés comenzando tu camino de liderazgo o buscando mejorar tus habilidades, este evento es para ti.
Únete a nosotros el sábado 28 de septiembre de 9 a 4 p.m. en la prestigiosa sede de Georgia Power. Esto es más que solo un evento, es una oportunidad para conectarte, aprender y crecer junto a personas que están comprometidas a hacer una diferencia en la comunidad.
Escucharás a expertos, participarás en talleres interactivos y obtendrás conocimientos que te permitirán liderar con propósito y confianza. Además, tendrás la oportunidad de establecer contactos con compañeros y mentores que comparten tu pasión por el liderazgo y el impacto en la comunidad.
No te pierdas esta increíble oportunidad de elevar tus habilidades de liderazgo y expandir tu red de contactos. Regístrate hoy en el enlace que se muestra y asegura tu lugar en el Leadership Summit.
Estamos ansiosos por verte allí. Unámonos para inspirar, liderar y dejar una huella duradera en nuestras comunidades.
Nos vemos en el Leadership Summit en Georgia Power.
The GIL program, also known as the Galeo Institute for Leadership Program, it was established in 2006, so it's close to the 20-year mark for that. And what we do is we work with UGA's Fanning Institute of Leadership, and we get their curriculum to compose a one-year-long program for people around the state, leaders to join us, no matter what their background is, what their education experience is. What we prioritize is people taking the time to invest themselves, whether it's with public speaking, working in teams, making group decisions, building partnerships through communities. Those are just some of the courses that we offer, amongst many more. So we meet one Saturday a month from February till November. And we also have a Georgia State chapter, which is the same as the statewide cohort, but it runs throughout their school calendar. So fall and spring semester. And we are close to 900 alumni. I'm on my 5th cohort since my time with the leadership team. And we have a team of about 30 facilitators now. I really wish I had the time to name them all, but you know, they all come from different industries, whether they work in the nonprofit sector or they work in the corporate side of things, or they work in higher ed, which is a industry that's typically forgotten, and definitely, you know, thankful for the people that come into GIL and then take those skills back, as well as people who are students that are giving it their all to give back to their families as first-generation students. Sign up now to get involved with our organization. Check out our socials, contact us through our website. There's different ways for you guys to reach out and ask any questions you may have, but we really look forward to seeing you getting involved with our organization.
What's up, Kyle?
Hello, hello, Alberto and everyone. We're here to talk about everyone's favorite topic, la pinche política. We've already mentioned this a little bit, but we have a debate coming up tonight.
I haven't heard of it.
Right. Alberto's been living under a hole in the ground or something, under a rock, I should say. But no, it's important debate. You know, I'll certainly be watching it. And I hope that all of our viewers will be watching it as well, because there's a big difference between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, and hopefully they'll be speaking about and to the issues that matter to our community, from the economy to immigration to climate change, as we were just talking about. Alberto, what do you hope to see in tonight's debate?
No, definitely would like to pay attention, and the difference is there, right? Like, our community needs to understand that the candidate Harris will be the better choice. And then I know Galeo Impact Fund is going to have the recaps, all the information from that debate to our community in Spanish. Then from my personally say, just the economy in general, how we tackling it, housing. But yeah, every single topic that they're going to be there, there's going to be a clear difference.
Yeah, and there's a huge shift in dynamic that we're going to expect to see on display at tonight's debate. Obviously, the last debate was between former President Trump and our current President Biden, who now is no longer the nominee, or no longer the candidate, I should say. And from the economy, we expect hopefully to see Vice President Harris take on Donald Trump in a more forceful way than we've seen done in the past, because under his administration we saw one of the hugest most large tax cuts passed in American history, and he's been caught on video saying to his millionaire donors that they're going to get wealthier under his administration if he gets another 4 years. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is talking about taking on price gouging and making cost of living more better for working and middle class families. And I always say Latino values are working family values, right? So we'll see what happens at tonight's debate. Very excited about it. And I don't know if we've mentioned it on the podcast before or the web series before, but our board has formally endorsed Kamala Harris. We've endorsed candidates in the past on the C4 side, but this is the first time that our board has ever voted to endorse Kamala Harris.
Yes, if I'm going to
endorse a presidential candidate.
If I'm going to watch the debate, I should do it in a style, right?
Absolutely. And that's why you should go to our store for the Galeo Impact Fund. You see, we've got some incredible products. We've got La Presidenta there in the style of the Loteria. I was personally in favor of trying to get something, talking about La Chingona, but apparently that's just very Mexican and not everyone's about it. But La Presidenta, that's cool. So we love it. We're excited.
Yeah, and we not only we have the T-shirt, but we also have the stickers with the Loteria pattern, tote bags, mugs, all the notebooks. So for all the listeners, get all the swag, get ready for the debate, and even after debate, right? Continue repping that sweet swag from our store.
Get all decked out, y'all. And once you buy your products and wear your products, take pictures and tag us on social media so everyone can see what the cool kids are wearing.
Yeah, I definitely have mine ready. Marifer, ya tienes tu.
Todavía no, pero solamente porque no dice La Chingona. Si no...
I told y'all.
Yeah. That'll be for our audience next time they want to tell us. Let us know and take pictures. Hey, if you're watching the debate tonight, take pictures with our swag. Tag us on online. Yeah. But with that, we're getting close to the end. So we really appreciate everyone that was able to tune in. Thank you so much, Marifer.
Yeah. Y por último, recuerden que ya hace frío, ya nos estamos encerrando con mucha gente, entonces no se les olvide vacunarse contra el flu, contra COVID, COVID y contra todo lo demás. Lávense las manos también.
Encerrándose, but go to the Leadership Summit. Don't forget that.
Y también.
Yeah, Kyle.
And don't just go to our summit, come to our luncheon, the Hispanic Heritage Luncheon. We invite you. We'd love to have you. It's going to be a great event, and not just because Alberto, Marifer, and myself are going to be hosting. We've got a wonderful speaker, Ms. Cardenas, and it's going to be a great event with great food too, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll look forward over there. So, all right, let's do our trademark eyebrow goodbye. And with that, we'll say that together,
somos
más.
We'll get it right.
Yeah, bye, everyone.